Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, everyone following us on Leadership Podcast. You're welcome to another edition of Money Radio. Today is Thursday, and we are discussing tourism. A particular aspect of tourism is what we would like to dwell on today, and that is how Nigerians in the diaspora can encourage tourism into Nigeria. Today, I have with me in the studio, I'm the host, Case Hammond. I have with me in the studio Jeremy Emerson. And we have a guest also, an expert in the field of tourism. His name is Mark Moore. Mark Moore is the Chief Executive Officer of Motley Travels and Tourism. Motley Travel and Tours. Mr. Mark Moore, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me. Nice to be here.
These names inspired tourism. In fact, they are tourist names. Mark Moore. In fact, the name Emerson reminds me of this American psychologist, Ralph Waldo Emerson, a great man. So you're welcome, viewers. We go straight to the point. Mr. Moore, we'd like to start with you. You are our special guest. So the government is doing its part. Individuals are doing their part within Nigeria. And abroad, we would like to get the attention of Nigerians in the diaspora to encourage tourism into Nigeria. A recent year, around 2019, Nigeria, as big as Nigeria is and as a potential tourist destination as Nigeria is, we had just 1.2 million international tourists coming into the country. That is quite small considering the fact that the likes of Kenya, the likes of Mauritius, Seychelles, Cape Verde, in fact, much of their GDP depends on tourism. In fact, Namibia, yes, all those countries depend on tourism, but Nigeria, as much as Nigeria has that much potential, just 1.2 million, that is small. And considering tourism's contribution to the world GDP, we are getting very little of that chunk of what exists in that sector, the global sector of tourism. And we'd like to see that amount grow, really. So, Mr. Moore, what can Nigerians out there do to promote tourism into Nigeria?
All right, thank you for the question. It's great being with you discussing this topic. You see, it really, in my opinion, it really doesn't start with the Nigerians in diaspora. I think it really does start with Nigerians in Nigeria, because the people out there, perhaps they've been out for quite a while, and it will require people who are within, to be able to say, these are the things we have, these are the potentials we have. If you come home, these are the things you can see. So we really need to sell our potentials. We need to sell what we have here to the outside world to buy. And if we are able to do that, they will have a reason to come in. And and when they come in, of course, it becomes what experience are they going to have, when they come in. So primarily it behoves on us as Nigerians that are within, yet at the moment, to be able to sell Nigeria to the outside world to buy. So that for me, it's a major start point in promoting domestic tourism in Nigeria.
Yeah. We see what some foreign nationals in Nigeria do that makes their culture interesting to Nigerians. I'll give you an example. You have the Indians. The Indians have their national day. They have their festivals. They have their kind of worship. They have their, of course, their customs and traditions. You go to, for example, most big cities you go to in the world, you have Chinese restaurants, you have this and that, and those things are encouraged. They somehow encourage tourism. You agree with me, right?
Yeah. I agree with you. You see, the thing is, foreign nationals, they have, you see, for number one thing, your culture is your identity to a great extent. Okay. And if you're not, you need to be able to shoulder that, you need to be able to carry that high up on your shoulder for you to be able to convince people to want to be interested in what you have to do. And frankly speaking, tourism is not getting the desired attention it ought to get in Nigeria, partly because, of course, maybe the government is not doing enough, but then the people themselves, we have to be responsible. We have to be proud of what we have. I mean, it saddens me when I see lots of Nigerians are so much interested in, travel, jetting out and seeing what's out there. You don't blame them for that. You can't hold them, blame them for that action. But then the crux of the matter is the fact that Nigeria is blessed beyond measure. Nigeria has a lot of potentials. It's for us to harness them, grow them, and make them sellable, to the outside world. I mean, look, I give you an instance. You talked about Indians. There was an experience we had. We went on vacation to Obudu Mountain Resort, and there were lots of Indians. They came, to Obudu. It was in a December, yeah. They came there just because it's a place they want to experience, they want to see. So that is just one out of the lot of destinations we have in Nigeria. And for people to know, I mean, I wouldn't know what's going on in your home if you don't tell me. So for people to know what we have here, we really need to sing it, we really need to hype it, and we really need to make it, project it out there so that people will want to come and see. There's a lot of money to be earned in tourism out there, hanging there. And sadly, as it is, maybe some other African countries are really tapping into that, and Nigeria is just, kind of laid back to that. But by and large, it doesn't mean that some persons or a good percentage are not tapping into these potentials we have. I mean, the recently concluded Osun Festival had a good turnout. Ideally, the turnout you had there used to be much more than that. But then because of the situation, security, COVID restrictions, and all of that, people are beginning to kind of, shy away from gatherings and all of that. But then it doesn't take away the fact that things that needs to be celebrated, things that need to be projected, needs to be projected. So that's my take on that.
So you place the blame on the Nigerians, and then you place the blame on the government also. What specifically can the government do, and individual Nigerians, or say entrepreneurs, what can they do to build that sector? And or should there be a strategy? What can they do?
Let me start with the government. You see, the truth of the matter is that tourism takes a whole lot. Okay, I give you an answer. I'll make another reference to Obudu. You see, when Donald Duke was the governor of Cross River State, whatever you hear, whatever you think, whatever joy, push you have to visit Obudu was because of the enormous work the previous government did to promote Obudu. No entrepreneur, no individual will have that budget, to do that. Okay, now what the government can do in this regard is to say, okay, look, we want to project the image of Nigeria. We want to push tourism in Nigeria. The government can pick, okay, look, let's pick a destination in some of the 6 geopolitical zones. Okay, promote them. All you're doing is promoting them to the outside world. The outside world is seeing that the government of Nigeria is promoting their destination. That will spur their interest to want to research. They will spur their interest to want to know more. But then that is where the tour operators, the entrepreneurs here come in. Okay, now the entrepreneurs here are able to now package these various destinations, in anticipation of the request that will come. For example, the Christmas is coming, or the Calabar Carnival is coming, or Osun just got ended. If the government promoted it, I am very sure and very certain, if not for the COVID restrictions, we would have had a lot of persons who will be interested. They want to come and see. They want to come and experience the culture, the way of life of the people, the culinary experience, and every other thing. So it's a huge thing that the government has to do, play that role, because no single individual, no entrepreneur, as of today in Nigeria, can foot that bill. So primarily, if that is done, then secondary, you now want to look at, okay, these destinations that you're talking about, these people coming about, what is their state? Are they ready? Are they prepared to receive, the visitors and all of that? The places are there. It might not few touch-ups, few renovations and all of that. It's all about the experience. Look, some persons want to just travel and experience something different from what they have on a regular in their country. I mean, if I live in a palace, if I and I want to come to Africa, for example, I may have heard so much about Africa. I want to visit wildlife. Nobody wants to go to wildlife and you want to stay in a 5-star luxury hotel in the jungle. Nobody does that. I mean, but the places are there, the challenges are there. I mean, if you go to Kenya, if you go to Rwanda and all of that, the places are there befitting the terrain, befitting the environment. So in our case, we can have such places prepared. While the government is doing theirs, the tour operators, the travel agents are preparing packages, marketing these destinations, and the government in turn, and I mean, it could be the state government, or however it goes, put this place in order. People are able to visit, and then it becomes the experience. What is the experience they get when they visit? The catch will not be, if you go to Ikogosi Warm Spring, for example, the catch there will be, look, there's a warm spring and there's a cold spring and there's a confluence. They don't meet, and there's a story behind the tree, the two trees that grew together. I mean, merged together, and they grew from that place. So it's an interesting thing to see, and that is a story that they will go back with, to their country and sell, and more people will want to come in. So until we're able to solve that puzzle, until government is able to see that, look, tourism is a gold mine that is just sitting there, and it requires government effort, government funding in terms of promotion, marketing, and development. But primarily, if you ask me to place it, I think Nigeria's image has to be promoted. Nigeria's image has to be marketed, and government has the budget, government has the purse to foot that bill, because no single entrepreneur has that budget to pursue that goal.
Oh, beautiful. You said quite a lot there, Mr. Mark. I'd like to ask this question, because sometime in 2016, I remember I followed you to Obudu Cattle Ranch. Yes, and we had quite a number of foreigners who were part of the trip. So looking between that time and now, how would you assess the industry with the level of insecurity in the system, and as well as COVID-19? What is the tourism industry today like? If you can give us your assessment.
Yeah. Okay. For me, I think if not for COVID-19 that set in sometime in 2020, I can attest to the fact that domestic tourism in Nigeria was actually growing. More people were getting involved. More people want to see places. More people want to do things in Nigeria and around Nigeria. We have the figures, we have the statistics. People on a daily, especially when we put out group vacation packages, we correspond with a whole lot of persons. As a matter of fact, you will almost think that Motley Motley manages this destination, because we cannot, even though we know that challenges are there, but you see, you cannot sell white as black, and you cannot sell black as white. You have to tell it as it is. But then in whatever it is, we still have to appreciate what we have and make the best of it. Talking about security, you will agree with me that till date, sadly, the security situation is not improving. You hear pockets of kidnaps here and there. But let me tell you something. You see, look at the United States. There are killings every day, every time. Look at other countries. There are killings. Things happen and all of that. But you see, these things are not projected because they have a greater goal to sell, to market their country. Okay, so that is a challenge that is ongoing, that of course the government needs to focus on. The government needs to give the people assurances, because safety and security is a priority of government. That notwithstanding, we would not say because there's insecurity, there's pockets of here and there, we would not live our lives. It's about making the people comfortable, making the best of the situation. So between 2016 until date, I can attest to the fact that tourism has grown tremendously, because more players have come in, more operators have come in, more destinations have been discovered. And I tell you that the youth engagement in tourism recently is something to be proud of. More of them are coming in, displaying. If you're an ardent follower on Instagram, you will see lots of youths coming up with images, visiting places, talking about these places, pushing it out. They are not earning a dime to it, but they're just doing it because it's the passion. But you see, at some point, after the passion, there has to be a business angle to it. So it's the passion that will fuel the business.
Okay, so let's talk about infrastructure. How would you assess the infrastructural, system in some of these tourist locations? Are they well enough to, to encourage tourists, both local and international tourists?
I would not say 100% yes. I wouldn't say that. But you see, these destinations are not totally in a terrible state, as you would be made to believe, as is being spread on some social media. You see, it's all about impression, and a lot of people just hear and they just run with it. They don't take time to really find out and look at what really happens. Infrastructure, when you talk of infrastructure, you want to look at, the road situation, how the people, it's very difficult actually going from point A to point B when it comes to these tourism destinations. The access roads to these places are almost not existent, okay? And now where they are, the terrain isn't so good, but then there has to be a bridge. There has to be a bridge of how to get people from point A to point B. Hoping and believing that Nigeria is a country that is constantly trying to develop, to do things. Pockets of challenges are never ending. They are always there. But then we make, like I said earlier, we have to make the best of the situation that we are in. So to answer your question directly, I will tell you on a scale of 1 to 10 that 8, these destinations are ready to give, to welcome visitors, both local and foreigners, to enjoy the beauty, to enjoy, the cultural givings of the various destinations as it can offer in Nigeria and all of that. Yes.
Mr. Moore, please stay with us. We want to take a break, just a short break. When we come back, there are a few more questions we would like to push to you.
Awesome.
Please, listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Yeah, you can jump now.
See, the weather is cool. Ghost, yeah, you can do it.
Beloved.
Yo,
no stress. You're not to get river and I'll see the issue.
Welcome back to all of you. We're still discussing tourism today on Money Radio. We still have our guest with us, Mr. Mark Moore. Mr. Moore, are you with us?
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show.
So, Mr. Moore,
Thank you.
you are into this business. You are an expert into this business, and we trust you can at least list some tourist destinations for our international listeners, as well as those within. What are some of those tourist destinations? Destinations that are of attraction that will make people get value for their money.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, of course, the number one usual suspect would be the Obudu Mountain Resort. Like we said, Obudu Mountain Resort is the number one. We call it Nigeria's most sought after destination because of the location, the terrain, the uniqueness of the destination, as it were. So that is that. Then right, even in Cross River there as well, you also have the Cross River National Park. It's a rainforest, and it's a place that gives you gives you an opportunity to connect with nature. So Cross River National Park is another one there. Then coming to the west, you have the Kogosi Warm Spring. The Kogosi Warm Spring gives you an ambience of nature where you also get to see the warm and the cold spring coming together in a confluence, and all of that. And of course, the resort there ready to give you to play host to every foreign visitor and locals alike. Then you also want to look at Berefu Island. Berefu Island, you might not have heard about Berefu. You might maybe you hear more of Badagry, but you see, Berefu Island is where it holds a whole lot of history as it connects slavery in Nigeria back in the day. So it gives you that opportunity to connect and see what it really was back 400 years ago. Man's inhumanity to man. I mean, recently we had a tourist from the US who visited Berefu Island, and it was an opportunity for her to connect, with her roots and felt it. And so many other ones, they come around like that. They visit these places. Another one I want to look at again, you have the Ngwo Pine Forest in Enugu exists, and all of that. The cave and waterfalls like that. You have the Gurara waterfalls in Niger State. You have the Farirua waterfalls in Nasarawa State, and a whole lot of other. Olumorok in Abeokuta, and of course the one that gives you digital experience, your Obasanjo Presidential Library gives you a whole experience, a whole vibe, and give you some level of modernity into travel and tourism in Nigeria. Yes, there are a whole lot of them that are ready, to receive visitors alike. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Moore, did you follow the video just before you came back on?
Yeah, I did.
What's your comment about that?
But that gives you, that is a tip of how much fun you can have when you come out of your comfort zone and you take an adventure. When that gives you a tip of the fun, the level of fun you will have when you explore places in Nigeria. I mean, normally the people you see in that water, you see playing, ideally outside adventure, outside tourism, they will tell you, no, the water in the pool has to be clean. But you see, I tell tourists anytime we go on nature tours, I say, look, whatever you do, nature wins. You can't beat nature. Whatever it is, Gurara waterfall is there like that. People dive in and they have fun. So it's a place you come, you see, and the moment you are there experiencing that, you forget about every other thing. Makes you light. It makes you come alive, and you enjoy every bit of it. So that's the kind of experience that people have when they visit Nigeria, when they visit certain, and I tell people not to make this mistake. That look at it, that different destination offer you different experience. I want to believe this is the Crush Cafe, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Moore.
Yeah. Yes.
Looking at this place is in a nearby, just a neighborhood here in Abuja. You know the place, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, right here in Papi. What do you think government can do to improve this place and make it a standard, at least a standard? Let me not say world class, but at least a standard tourist destination
that can as well, attract revenue for government.
Yeah.
Yes. Number one thing is government needs to make a clear-cut access road to that place. Number one, I recall that the FCT administration visited some time ago, and they promised to develop the place in some way, but of course, till date, nobody knows, nobody hears anything. But if that access road is done there, it eliminates some pockets of touting and all of that stories you hear of late about visiting that place. Plus the fact that this is a place that is good. I mean, the water can be properly surveyed and be sure that there's nothing harmful underneath it. A lot of water activities can take place here. Picnics, kayak, boating and all of that can happen here. And you could put a lot of things you can put there, some chalets or whatever. People want to sit, people want to just have a quiet time overlooking nature. So it's something that the government can really tap into and generate revenue. But then the thing is, tourism does not give you money overnight. You have to be able to grow it. And like I said, government has the budget, government has the pulse to be able to develop this thing. Except, this place is being let into a private investor who would come in and say, okay, look, run this place for a couple of years, put what it is on a PPP basis, and these things will work. And if government feel, like it's cumbersome, as it were, and all of that, the fastest route to developing this tourism assets in Nigeria is through PPP, because there are people who have these funds, who are willing, who are seeing the gold mine in the market here, and they want to tap into it and are ready to do what is needed to be done to get it running.
Yeah, it's been good having you on the show this evening, Mr. Moore. We'd like to have you back, but just before you go, we are about to round up. We asked you a question initially. What can people in the diaspora do, at least to assist in growing national tourism?
Yeah, a primary thing. I was actually also going to mention that to cap everything that has been said. You see, the thing is that what people in diaspora can do is the fact that, you see, there has to be a time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, let us try and see how we can, at least on major celebration, major festivals and all of that, let them come home. There was something that happened in Ghana, the year of the return, where you have people, trooping in and all of that. And Ghana made a whole lot of money in that. So these are the things they can do. Celebration time are coming, holidays are coming, the schedule to visit Nigeria.
Just like what the Indians have over here, they have their festivals.
Exactly.
As well as Koreans, they have their festival here in
exactly.
Nigeria.
Exactly. So Nigerians out there can also, have such kind of celebrations around there, and it's an opportunity to showcase to the foreigners in the country where they are based what we have in Nigeria. So they can also, from their own end, project the potentials we have here, project the assets we have here, create that awareness for the people, make the people hunger to want to visit Nigeria, to want to visit their country with them. And before you know it, it's a boom. And we achieve.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Mr.
very
Mark
much.
Moore. You have been a good guest this evening. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much for having me. And apologies for my lighting. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thank
You
so
to
much.
all of you, our viewers out there. Thank you to our producers. We say join us again tomorrow for another edition of Money Radio. We'll be back and surely continue to improve in what we give you. Thanks for being there. Bye-bye.
Thank you.